Hey traders, investors, and stock market enthusiasts, it's your boy Jeremy Alexander Newsome, your cerebral pyromaniac. I'm ready to get your brain fired up with this edition of a real life trading video. Enjoy, thanks so much for watching, you rock. Hey traders from around the world, welcome to your Monday real life stock review. I hope everyone's having a tremendously insightful and impactful Monday. And I also hope all out there had a great weekend. Cinco de Mayo, Kentucky Derby, a lot of greatness transpiring over the weekend. We got some tariff talk over the weekend from our boy Trump, and that caused the markets to gap down nicely this morning. And this morning I got about 187 text messages when I woke up. People asking, is this it? Is this over? Is this the end of the bull market? Should I sell everything and get out? And most of my replies were no. Because we're in a bullish trend. Last few times we've dipped, we've got bought back up. And what I can say for sure is the tariffs aren't specifically a negative thing for the majority of the stock market. With this particular gap down, it was a bearish gap and go. That is absolutely correct. However, it was down like around 1.7% at open. And that is too big for SPY to just open and just continue lower. In fact, this is the 5-minute chart before market open. So before market open, we had already made a little bit of a higher low. So the support was here. So this was the support. This low had already been made on the SPY, which is about 288.75. So this morning, our plan was, hey, let's look for dip buying opportunities in the morning day trading room. Shout outs to Arabia for getting 2 Rs on the SPY. She sold right here, which was about 10:50 a.m. Eastern. And again, just a gorgeous candle. As soon as the market opens, you have a massive bullish candle closing above the pre-market resistance, huge volume above the moving averages on the non-extended hours chart, the extended hours chart. So just a beautiful S-curve. That was a perfect S-curve in all shapes and fashions. So if I go over here to Apple, Apple was very similar. Now Apple, obviously in a very strong bull trend, right? Beautiful bull trend on Apple. Yes, it is a gap and go, but Apple was down 4.5% at open. So the question you have to ask is, how much lower is it going to go? Not on earnings, just a random gap, gapping into a bullish trend, down 4.5%. So what is it going to do? Go down 8% in one day? Although it's possible, it's just unlikely. It's relatively rare for that to occur. And not only that, but here's the, whatever time frame you want to look at. Let's look at it on the 3-minute chart. So the 3-minute chart on Apple, it came down and actually bounced off of the pre-market support in the first 20 seconds or so of the market open. So right before market open, you have bearish candle, bearish candle, bearish candle, bearish candle, bearish candle. What are all those bearish traders doing in order to exit their position? That's right, they are buying to cover. So that buying to cover creates a massive bullish candle with huge volume right before market open, and right before that market open, when we trade higher, we close above the pre-market resistance 9 minutes into market open. S-curve, bounce, and continue higher. Those are really good bullish opportunity on Apple, in my personal opinion, going long this morning. Now, we can say that all we want, but in the day trading room this morning, I was doing Mentorship Monday, and we played Tesla bullish like it was our job. We actually still have the chart here. And the reason I went bullish Tesla is realistically because the market, everything was gapping down, looked like it was going to get bought up. Tesla did not gap down below the low of yesterday. A lot of stocks did, right? SPY, Apple, a few others, Nvidia. Tesla didn't. So that to me showed a little bit of strength, the fact that it wasn't gapping below that candle. And it already had a bullish gap and go on the 2nd of May, which we played profitably. And it had a continuation higher on the 3rd of May, which we played profitably. So my thought was, why not look to go long again? And as I've mentioned in a few reviews previously, I've been looking at only going bullish on Tesla down at these levels because it just makes loads of sense for Tesla to break a super obvious support to only go long. This was back on the 22nd of April, right, when Tesla was at 262, so I was expecting to come down into this 238-ish area and then work on the bounce, and there it is, folks. That's it. That is what Tesla is doing at this exact moment in time. So trading down into this area, I'll show you how we played it. We looked at it on the 3-minute chart, and it was actually a pretty basic setup. So you have this 3-minute chart here. Now let me just hide all the drawings for a second. The very first candle that comes in is a bearish candle on the 3-minute chart. Right? Nice bearish candle. Look at that volume. Huge bearish volume. So the very next candle, huge bullish candle that closes above the high of the bearish candle. So my thought was, yeah, if you're going to go bullish on this trade, getting in above this high, getting in above this breakout makes tons of sense. So that's what we did. We got in at 251.04 above the high of the second 3-minute candle. Our stop was down here at 248.04. We held through this little S curve right here. It bounced. We exited 1/10 of our position on this candle at 8:54 Central. And then we held through all of this retracement, just waited, eventually moved the stop up to here, and then exited all of our position at 255.44, which was a fib target. That was the 2 extension. Now looking at it, I could have probably held a little bit longer, maybe exited another quarter right here and then exited the rest up here. But remember, my friends, we're never going to get out at the exact top, almost never. So lock in your profits. That was a gorgeous 1.25 Rs on Tesla. My buddy Clive made 2 Rs on Tesla as he had a little bit of a different setup. So beautiful trade, gorgeous move. That was a fantastic fade that we did live in the morning day trading room today. So that was Tesla. Now I did have a loser. Very frequently I have one winner and one loser, 50-50. This was SBGI. And I am still surprised and shocked that this thing is still going higher. This is a blue chip stock that pays dividends that is up 30% and some change right now, almost 40%, 35%, all-time highs. So I did try to fade it, and it just simply didn't work. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So boom, 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 double top, short of the retest, and it just never rolled over. In fact, all it did was go higher. So you know what? Hey, we had to take a loss, but based on the math is very easy. Trading is all about first grade math, realistically. We made 1.25 Rs on Tesla. We lost 0.9 Rs on SBGI. So overall, up decently well, kind of cutely for the day. And we also closed this swing trade on PI, ticker symbol PI, for 0.3 Rs. So we got into half an R on a pullback here at 27.52. Actually got triggered in on the 2nd of May at open at 27.44. So closing that one today, mostly just in case it kind of rolls over again and we can get a little bit of a better price. But PI, that will be a nice little level. For tomorrow, which is Tuesday, I will keep an eye out on some of these Chinese stocks to potentially get some continuation. BABA is at the top of that list. This is a bearish gap and go. You do have a bullish candle, and I will watch for a bearish continuation down, but be neutral tomorrow. Be very neutral. Be ready to go in any direction. If we get a strong move higher, here's what you want to do. Pull up about the 15-minute chart, and if we start making higher highs and higher lows, buy dips, not breakouts. Today has been very, very trappy on the breakouts. So if we do something like this, buy that S-curve tomorrow and play it long. If we start breaking down tomorrow, same thing. Break down, short the retest, let it go lower. I'll be pretty nimble and pretty neutral tomorrow, but we could continue higher. Most likely, we will continue lower on some of these gaps, but, you know, we'll see. Bob is in a very strong trend and certainly worth figuring out. Shopify, gorgeous little candle on Shopify. Google, G-O-O-G-L, working perfect for our bull put spread down here at 1080. 1060. That is a spread that all of you could be participating in because I did post it on TradingView. So this is the Google bull put spread back here on April 30th. So this is a July 1080, 1060 bull put spread. And as long as it stays above 1080, which is over 100 points away, theta will slowly begin doing its job on Google. I think I had some stocks that people requested. Let me just pull those up really quick. Yep, all right, let's go look at some of these. Bank of America. So my buddy John Simcoe requesting Bank of America. Here's your weekly chart, and what a lot of people are noticing on Bank of America is it does kind of look like an inverted head and shoulders pattern. Can't specifically argue that because the shape is there, and you have a really nice resistance here around 29.5. So back over to the daily, trend looks cute. We did have a little bit of a gap down. It is a little bit of a bearish gap, no question. So as long as we can hold the low of today, pretty much just across the board, SPY, Facebook, Bank of America, any general stocks, Apple, if we take out the low of today, we'll get a little bit more bearishness. It was a small gap on Bank of America, could continue lower, but realistically, I'd be a buyer if I was looking at personally playing Bank of America around this 29.5 mark. I don't play Bank of America, just not really my jam, but that's what it could do, and I do kind of like the overall bullish trend that's been in play. I mean, really, like most stocks since the beginning of the year. And Bank of America did have a nice, deep, shallow retracement right here, trapping a lot of overzealous bears, forgetting that the bulls were in control, and then we've just been going higher from there. Ticker symbol QD. So we had a bullish swing trade set up on this one, and we wanted to get in at 721. The low of today was 732, so we missed it by 11 cents. If this doesn't trigger today, which, I mean, the market's only open for another hour and a half, I'm actually going to be lowering this entry a little bit, probably into about 680, and then I'll lower the stop a little bit as well into about 480. I like this chart. It looks to me like she's working on breaking out. Good volume, good accumulation, has a lot of upside left. So you're welcome to kind of graze over some of the fundamentals on this particular stock, but realistically, I like this trend. I like the volume. Would have loved to gotten filled today, but it just didn't quite happen. So I guess I'll lower the entry and see if we can get lucky on QD. My buddy Matt DeLong and a few others are in Lyft. We'll keep an eye on Lyft and see what that does. Pinterest, PINS, a little bit of a bullish candle on Pinterest. That's looking kind of cute. Kind of somewhat hoping that that can potentially continue a little bit higher on Pinterest. And what else we got over here? Oh yes, two others. Z-Links, XLNX. So Z-Links, this was a bullish trade setup that I was looking at based on this particular candle. So realistically, what's happening with Z-Links is you got the 100 simple moving average acting as a little bit of a support. You had a little bit of a gap down today with most of the broad market. This is a bearish gap and go, and the biggest challenge on Z-Links is it's just so dang high. Look at this weekly chart. I mean, it's just been churning and burning. That's a straight up trend. So going long here is just a little bit of a challenge because the trend has just been so straight up. It needs a little bit of a rest. So my thought is if you're looking at playing Z-Links, just look to buy it as low as possible and look to buy it where all the traps will be. So for example, the low of this candle is 110.31. Put your entry below that low where all the stops are. So look to go long maybe 109.92. Have a stop down here at 103.87, something like that. Try it off there, see if you can double bottom. Boom, 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 something like that. And if not, if it breaks above and completes a double bottom there, buy the retest. But I think there's better value out there than Z-Links right now. I would just like this one to go sideways a bit longer. And the other stock that I had a request on was Citigroup. Citigroup, very similar to Bank of America, except had a much, much more large drop, is holding the 100 simple on a weekly pretty well. Exponential moving averages look good. Trend looks good. In my opinion, this is some type of wave down. So it looks to me like we can easily do something like this where we continue to slowly creep higher. The monthly chart looks pretty. You're above all the moving averages finally for the monthly. You're above the 100 simple on a monthly. You're above the long terms on a daily. They just pay dividends. I mean, long term, it's kind of hard to be bearish on Citigroup. Just right now, over the last few years. I mean, it's been making some good grinds higher. I do like the gap down. I like the fact that it gapped and bounced right off of the 20 EMA on the daily. So if you're playing Citigroup, buy the dip. That looks like the general trend for most of the market out there. Last but not least is Square. I love this gap down on Square. Again, if you're going to go bearish, you didn't really get any signals at any point in time to be bearish on most stocks out there. First 3-minute chart, you get a high wave indecision candle with amazing volume. You broke the high of this candle right here, and it was just off to the races. 66.35 by 65 and some change. That would have been it. Absolute monster on Square. Really good move. Gorgeous fade, up 1% today. Again, if you're going to go bearish, you just went counter trend on pretty much anything. If you went short in the first 2 hours of the day, you just were not reading volume or candlesticks at all. And again, it was a good gap. I'm not denying that, but it just immediately opened and began fading, which is great for this put sale, and it's even better for this iron condor on Square. Last but not least, I will show you a big miss that I had this morning was IMGN, IMGN. I thought this gap was just phenomenal. Perfect in every way. And here's how I set up early this morning. So this was 1 minute into market open, and we just missed it by seconds. By the way, also a very good video. If you want to type in how to day trade when the market is down huge, you can type that into YouTube and find that video as well. I kind of talk about how to take advantages of days like we had today. But where are we? Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, right here. 8:31 a.m. So this was the setup. 310 by 290. And as I was typing it in, it kind of popped. The unfortunate thing is I was watching this on a 1 minute chart. I was ready to go with this on a 1 minute time frame. And when I was typing it, this candle was forming, and it was at about 311 or 312, and it just never pulled back to 310. You can see right here, the lows of those candles were 311. Oh, such a good gap. I love that gap so much. Could have been an easy 1.8, 2.1 R trade on IMGN. Just missed it by 1 penny and about 4 seconds. So what you're going to do, it's okay. It happens. No big deal. But anyway, that's IMGN. That was a really nice gap. And realistically, for a swing trade, that one could be one that can continue on some type of retest. So what I'll do is I'll put that on the list maybe for Thursday, Transportation Thursday in the afternoon swing trading room for those who are subscribed to that. Folks from around the world, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to put in your requests for Wednesday's Real Life Stock Review, and I will see you then. And until then, love life, live life, and trade it. Bye.